back to A Diary of a Single Mother. Today we are going to be talking about the other parent. For me, like the other parent, sometimes it's really hard to discuss, to talk about. But I will say in the last 5 years, the other parent has really come a long way. And we are doing much better as co-parents. But the top three biggest things when dealing with the other parent, in my situation, the other parent just lives 2 hours away. We're not together. I'm a single mother. And, there's challenges. And so my top three things that have really, really, really helped when it comes to the other parent, for one, is communication. The second one is honesty, and the third one is expectations. So for communication, our communication has literally changed so much. Like we went from hollering and screaming, just talking so terribly to each other, just our ways of communicating. It was really hard. It was really hard. It was to the point that I would literally block communication. Like I would block his phone number. I would block his social media sites. I would literally block him from speaking to me, from trying to reach out to me, or even my kid. I would literally block the communication. And you don't want to do that. Like I don't do that anymore. He can make me mad and I won't block him because that's blocking the communication to my child. But you don't want to block the communication. Do you sometimes have to scale back? Yes. But you don't want to block the communication because, again, that really cuts off the communication to your child, especially when your child's old enough to, speak and talk to the other parent. So it's just really important that, you just keep your own feelings in check and you keep your child in mind. And for me, I had to learn that. I would do a lot of things out of my own feelings, and I didn't think about how that would affect the relationship between the other parent and my child. So I would not say block communication. Sometimes you need to take a break, but you don't have to block the communication. But our communication has been way better. We talk to each other way better, and we're kind to one another now. And that was really hard 5 years ago to be kind, but we're kind to one another now, and our communication has just been on the up and up. The second one is honesty. I know for me, 5 years ago, it was really hard because there was dishonesty, like on both ends, and even up to, 2 years ago, there was still dishonesty. And one thing for me that I had to realize is, we're in two different positions, him and I. For one, he lives in a completely different city than I do, and we don't have the same opportunities. We do not live the same life. We're both adults, and we both make a living, but we don't earn the same amount of money. We don't live in the same type of communities. Whether good or bad, we just don't. We are we're completely two different people. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm trying to say. So anyways, he had to learn to be honest with me about his situation because I would come down really hard on him when he wasn't able to pick up our son, or because it was his weekend, or, he couldn't do this or he couldn't do that or he couldn't help me with this. I would come down really hard on him because I would be like, well, you can do this and you can do that. Why can't you do this? But you have to just be honest with each other. Sometimes he had to do certain things and he wasn't able to then. And it sounds like, when you're immature, it sounds like excuses. And sometimes it very well may be excuses. But a lot of times it's just, they really can't. And I had to learn how to be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more soft and gentle when I would come at him about certain things. And when he was completely honest with me, I was like, wow, okay, I understand. I get it. So you have to be honest with each other about the situations that you may have going on because it does affect the child. My child does not live with him. My child lives with me, but his situation there still affects my child because, some things can't happen. So you have to be honest with each other about your individual situations and your individual needs and things like that. And lastly, expectations. This one was really hard for me to wrap my brain around. I, um, my expectations for him as a father, as a man, as a person were like beyond the clouds. Okay, they were beyond the clouds. They were some of them I felt were realistic. Some of them just really were not realistic. But my expectations were beyond the clouds, and I had to really come down from that. Like really come down from those expectations and realize, like, hey, we don't live the same life. We do not have the same opportunities. You know, what's happening for me right now may not be happening for you right now. And I just had to adjust my expectations and put them at a level to which was attainable for him. Um, so that I wasn't constantly disappointed, so that I wasn't constantly upset, so that I wasn't constantly, spewing this energy of, you're such a terrible parent, there are circumstances and there are things that happen that make people who they are. And it makes their situations different. And so I had to be understanding, and I really had to first adjust my expectations, and I really just had to come to grips with, like, hey, you are this kid's mom. And this is what you need to do. And I said 3, but I'm really going to throw a 4th one in here because this was a struggle for me too. And it was control. Like, I am a control freak. Like, I have to be in control. I feel as if I need to control this situation. And one of the hardest things for me, even now, is learning to let go. I do not have control over everything. I do not have control over people. I do not have control over anything but me, myself, my feelings, and me. That's literally it, just me. So you have to let go of control, even in your mind, And so those things have really helped me and the other parent come a really long way. And 5 years later, no, we're not like besties, but we have definitely improved on our communication. Our expectations of one another are not, off in the clouds somewhere. And, we respect each other now. And I just let go of that control, that I wanted to have over him, to make him do certain things and to feel certain things. I just really had to let go of some of that things, and that really just improved our relationship is for the child, for my son. So I just wanted to come on here real quick. So I will see you ladies another day. But the other parent, we're going to have to get into that a little bit deeper because there are different situations. But that's just my situation, okay? See you guys.
Hey, B, this Archie calling. I know you're probably busy with the kids right now, but I just want to take this time to just tell you how much I appreciate you for all you've been doing for the kids, And I know that our communication is getting better, okay? And I pray that God may continue to bless you for all your trials and tribulations. And I also want to thank you for the sacrifices you've made. I know being far, being living in Philadelphia, you living in Carlisle, it's not easy on your own sometimes, but that's why I try my hardest to do all I can to make sure you guys are good and you guys are safe. But I want to say that I appreciate you for it. Our communication has gotten so much better than the past. We're young, so we had a lot of arguments and all that, but I thank God every day when I wake up that we've got this good relationship. We have built this good relationship so we can co-parent with our son, and we both don't cross each other's boundaries. That's the most important thing. Now, let's see that you're happy now. You found a man that truly loves you, that takes care of you. You're not happy that you found such a good thing. So I pray that God continue to bless you guys, okay? Just be strong. Just know that I'm always here at the end. So, but if you get this message, give me a call back. All right? God bless you.